if we take a look at all of the leaders who have failed, look at Charlie Rangel, who used to be on the board of Phelps Stokes. I know Charlie. I was here, and I turned on the television, and he is humiliated. Unanimous resolution. He has lost his face. And look at Senator Torres here in Colombia. Look at the number of black politicians who are either in jail or afraid that they're going to go to jail. What you have been doing for the last 4 days is demonstrating that unity and harmony are the best ways to promote your spiritual health and also to build the kind of synergy that is going to be necessary to build the kind of society that Colombians want and deserve to have, regardless of their color. That when you look at most people, deep down, they want to live in harmony. They want their children to live in harmony. How do we begin to build that kind of society that her daughter deserves, your children deserve, in fact, the world deserves? I told you that leadership is ex post facto. You are not a leader until you have led. So don't get confused that you went to a leadership seminar and you read some books and that you were a leader. No. And don't confuse the fact that you were appointed to a position that makes you a leader. No. Leadership has to do with vision. Leadership has to do with communicating an alternative and then convincing people to work together to achieve that alternative. In order to do that, you have to work hard, you have to be intelligent, you have to study hard, then you also have to be ethical. And what did I say 3 days ago? Ethics involves 2 things. First of all, to know what is right from what is wrong. You must have a straight stick to know what a crooked stick is. But secondly, once you see that something is wrong, you have the moral obligation to step forward, to speak out, and to say, this is wrong, we have to change it. It may be difficult to change it, but we know that the topic of discussion is not denial, but what can we do together to make things right? I began with the story, which really came from Tanzania, of the village starving, and everyone gathered whatever little food and water they had left, and they gave it to the strongest to go for help. And when he got to the city, he forgot. And they all died, and the question was, should he be charged with murder? Let me close with a story that comes from the Orinoco and around Guyana. I think it is an indigenous story. The village had to select a new chief. And so they decided we'd have a competition. And 3 young men stood up to compete to become the chief. And the elder said, go, and whichever of you comes back with the greatest gift, you become chief. So the 3 young men, they ran away. Many months later, one came back, and he had with him a bracelet filled with gold and so many jewels. Was the most beautiful thing anybody in the village had ever seen. And they said, What a beautiful gift. Surely he should be our chief. As they were thinking about this, the second one came. And he brought with him a basket of fruit that they had never seen. And they tasted the fruit. It was so sweet that they cried. Surely, this is much better than the gold. He should be our chief. And they were about to make that decision when the third person arrived. His hands were empty. And they said, well, and he told them the story of his journey, that he traveled for many, many days, he crossed rivers, and then he began to climb a mountain. And it got very, very cold. And when he got to the top of the mountain, he saw something that was white and that was cold. He did not know what that was. So he picked up some of it, and he said, let me take this as my gift. Well, by the time he came down from the mountain, crossed the rivers, and into his village, the snow had melted. He had nothing. But they said, you must be our chief, because you have described something we have never seen, and you have given us the gift of imagination. May God protect you. And on your journey of education and service to your society, may you come back with gifts like imagination, and may you all become chiefs. God bless you.
Picture time, hugging time.
Yeah. Yeah, we're done. It's been a long day. Thank you for everything. So, grab your cameras and go to work, because I know you don't want to take pictures.